Welcome to Created Healthy. I'm Dawn Combs. It's a common idea that God gave us everything we need in nature, but do we believe it enough to walk that out in truth? Often the very same people who say this go looking for answers on how to use food and medicine from man-made sources. Everything man creates comes with a user's manual. Why would God be any different? I challenge you to join me in seeking revelation about our body, mind, soul, and spirit health by digging into His written word and in practicing pure science in the visible world of His creation. I'm sure we've all heard the precept that ignorance of the law is not a defense. That's pretty much what David is saying here in Psalms 18 through 21 today. Really, David starts with thanksgiving for he is so appreciative and praising God for the deliverance that he has received and the answered prayer that he has had. And he goes into really talking about the proper fear of the Lord. And I started looking into, as an aside, the difference between the use of the word Lord and God in the Bible. And what I found suggests that when you see Lord and God are the same. And as I was studying that, I knew that because I grew up in a Christian home and I've looked at the Bible before. And I just sort of knew that, but I suppose that somebody that comes to this new might not know that Lord and God are interchangeable, but they are different. So here David is using the word Lord, fear of the Lord, and he says it is clean and enduring forever. So the use of the word Lord is more of a recognition of a personal relationship. A God, a creator God that is getting down on the level of wanting to interact with his creation. And the use of God is much more the overarching term of the all-seeing, all-knowing, all-powerful, sort of detached entity of power. And so David's very intentionally using the word Lord. And he mentions the idea that fear of the Lord, so fear of recognizing the Lord's power, being in awe of the Lord who is having this relationship with us, endures forever, and it is a clean that endures forever. So we've visited the idea of clean and unclean so far. And it's interesting to see that pop up here. I don't think David's trying to say that there's some new covenant where you can, if you just have fear for the Lord, then you're clean. And no matter what happens to bodily emission or whether you touch a dead loved one or something happens in the field with a dead animal, fear of the Lord doesn't just make you clean. There are procedures that you'll have to go through under this old covenant. But he is sort of intimating that there may be something different here, just sort of a transition. What I love is that he goes into nothing is hidden from the glory of God that is seen in the heavens and through miracles like the sun. So there is nothing under the sun that is hidden. And he's also saying that there's nothing hidden in the fact that we can recognize the glory in the heavens that has been created by our Lord and by the miracle of the sun. And he further connects this to the law. So underneath the heat of this miracle of the sun, we see all the precepts, all the laws, all the commandments, all the fear and all the judgments of God. So he's very clearly giving us to think that underneath the sun, everywhere that the sun's light and heat touches, as we look around, we can evidently and clearly see God's laws and precepts and commandments. So he's saying that these things are tangible, that we can see God's laws and his design all around us. So it's, again, this idea that we don't really have an excuse not to see how amazing God is, see that he exists, see that he exists because we have everything around us. And if we look deeply within the design, it is impossible unless we are really, really only trying to go our own way and only seeing through our own lens. It's just impossible to not see that there is a designer, a creator behind it. And once you see that, then everywhere that the design is present speaks loudly of the laws that we are to follow. We must follow what we observe in nature, because God doesn't just give it to us in words. He also gives it. He gives it to us in creation. His laws, his commandments, his precepts, the fear of him, the awe of him, his judgments are all around us. And David goes on to say, all of these things that are evident underneath the heat of the miracle of the glory of the sun, warn your servants. They all warn us and protect us from presumptuous sins. In my translation, it says presumptuous sins, and I wanted to get a good definition on that in the current English, and I came to failing to observe the limits of what is permitted, what is allowed. So in sort of an ignorance, a not awareness, not really knowing where the limit is and making a mistake. He's saying that we can't really claim ignorance of the law here. We can't, it's not possible really for us to be presumptuous and not really know where the limit is, because we are prevented from doing that by looking around at the glory of God in the heavens and the miracle of the sun and the moon, and looking throughout all creation and really getting that there is a creator God, and his laws are written all over our bodies, all over creation. If we just follow those laws, we're seeing again and again that if we just follow those laws and commandments and precepts, if we follow all of that, we have health, we have long life, we are walking around in an organism that functions as designed perfectly, as the natural world is designed to heal. We don't really have an excuse unless we allow somebody else to come along and pull the wool over our eyes and teach us that what we see right in front of us isn't the truth. Get us to believe in an alternate reality that is being created to keep us asleep. Gosh, that's happening a lot all around us. This is a beautiful 19 really is where Psalm 19 is where the bulk of this is, and it's just a beautiful psalm. In 20 he says, we will boast in the name of God. We say that we aren't supposed to boast, but if we boast in the name, if we are proud, if we are boasting about God to others, or David's constantly boasting about his God and how amazing he is and how gracious he is and how righteous he is and how following his just and righteous commandments brings a joyful and full and healthy life. We're allowed to boast that way. It's not about us. It's about God. And when it's not about us, it's about God, we can see all of these things plainly written around us. I pray that God is blessing you today, and that you are drawn out into his creation to look around and drop all of the reservations that you have been given, all of the facts and figures that are man-made that are preventing you from looking at creation all around you with childlike eyes of wonder and awe, and to see him, to see his laws around you, to see it as plain as the nose on your face. I pray that he is giving you those eyes and that he brings you back to wonder and be curious with me on another day. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and share with a friend. And I'm always interested in hearing what God is laying on your heart. So drop me a rating or review, or join the conversation on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube at Dawn Combs Really.